Hey, once again, welcome to Riverfront Territory. Man, you'd think I would have gotten it by now, but I have yet to get all of this figured out. So I am Trent Rosecrans, longtime Reds writer for various publications. Currently, a senior MLB writer at the Athletic, and he is Danny Graves, the bane of Mike Maddox's existence.
Getting it out
Do,
of the way early.
do you think like Mike Maddox thinks all day like I gave up a home run to Danny Graves? Every time your name comes up, like somehow it'll be like Danny Graves. Oh man, he had a home run off of me.
Well, I can tell you when after it happened, even a couple years after it happened, well, four to be exact, I think in 2004, um, he was a pitching coach for the Astros,
Mm-hmm.
and they came in town to play us, and I was talking to Johnny Franco. We were hanging out and got pictures taken together.
Is that the number one and two all time save leaders in Cincinnati Reds history?
At the time, it was yes. Now Coco Cordero is number two, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yes, I think you're right.
Um, uh, so when I was talking to Johnny Franco, Mike Maddox was over like not too far, and I kind of reminded him that, hey, do you remember when I hit that home run off you? He's like, yes, I remember. Don't worry, I remember. So I think pitchers remember when pitchers give up homers to other pitchers. You know, it's just a
Yeah,
thing.
I can see that. I really do because it's just like oh come on man, I
Yeah.
gave you a cookie, or like nobody feels quite right. Well, no, I would guess that if you hit one, you're cool. Um,
Yeah. So I gave up Dontrell Willis's first career home run, and he hit a ton of them. So I mean, that's like I'm not embarrassed about that.
yeah, I mean he's a hell of an athlete.
Yes. Yeah, he raked.
Interesting. Who was the best hitting pitcher you ever played with?
Oh, besides me, I would say um, Pete Harnish was a really good hitter.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know he doesn't look very athletic, but the dude could put the ball in play if he wanted to, and he's got a couple homers under his belt too. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Like a lot of our pitchers that I played with, we were all just good bunters. Like I
yeah.
could bunt, I could really bunt, and we worked on it so much. As far as hitting, swing hard in case you hit it.
Well, Dontrell, that was your first pitch to him. I
Yeah,
looked at it.
that
It was
was.
a 1-1 game, bottom of the
Mhm.
fifth. Was that the year you were starting?
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. Uh-huh. It was a solo shot, I believe,
uh-huh.
right? And
Yep.
and it was in Miami in Joe Robbie Stadium, whatever they called it back then.
Yep.
But it was a bomb, dude. He hit it so far. It wasn't a wall scraper. It was
Right.
legit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
And I was one out away from a complete game loss too. I threw seven and two
Really?
thirds. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Mhm.
Huh. I don't know why these are kind of turned into some of my favorite little things.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you indulging me, um, because it is yeah, it's fun. So
It
what
is.
we're gonna talk today. I kind of thought of it with the start of free agency.
Mhm.
I kind of was just thinking like, hey, who would be a dream signing? Who's some maybe more realistic, maybe some sleepers. So instead of FMK, we have DRS, and that's a dream signing, a realistic signing, and a sleeper signing. So we're going to do that. And then after that, we're going to talk a little prospects, and that's going to be in response or in anticipation to our guest on our next show, who's going to be JJ Cooper of Baseball America. And so Baseball America recently put out their top 10 list for, they have all the NL Central teams done by now. But they did last week to the Reds. We kind of chatted about it a little bit, but what I wanted to do was kind of, well, first I would love for anybody that has questions for JJ about the Reds farm system. you can put them in the comments here. We'll go check them if you're watching on YouTube or listening through YouTube. You can do them there, or you can go on Twitter at Riverfront Territory, and
Yeah.
and then you are fine there and ask questions, and we'll just figure it out from there. So hopefully I know how to do with it, all of this. Again, just new things each and every day.
That's right.
But I think we're getting there. We're really getting there, and so yeah, so it's good. It's actually, I'm sorry, it's at Riverfront Pod, Pod, Riverfront Pod, at Riverfront Pod on Twitter. So that's what we will do. It's funny, we kind of did a little pre-work about this, and it was just kind of funny that the different names that came up that both of us were talking about, and that were on both lists, and then some guys who are a little bit different, and yeah. So that's kind of the rundown for today. We're going to go to a quick ad right now to from one of our sponsors, and then we will be right back.
AJ, we're going to do things a little bit differently here. I am wearing the Perfect Jean, and I remember seeing ads for the Perfect Jean, like most comfortable fit ever, perfect fit on your body, and I was like, I'm not buying it. Now, I'm buying it, and we're showing it off on FT.
Please get off my desk, first of all, Scott. Second of all, I was with you. I was skeptical about Perfect Jean, and then I got a pair, and the fitting was perfect. And my body's not hard to fit because I got a big old rear and big old legs from years of squatting, and they fit perfectly. They're stretchy, they're comfortable, they're fashionable. They're everything I look for in a jean, and now I have an extra pair, and I'm going to wear them all the time.
FOUL15 is the code at theperfectjean.nyc. FT listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code FOUL15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code FOUL15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them Foul Territory sent you.
I was like, hey, Danny, I texted earlier, like I was thinking something about a FMK, but doing it with free agents. You're like, what? And it is an old game where you have three people and you either F them, marry them, or kill them. So you can imply what the F is. And so maybe we'll do that with JJ when he is here tomorrow or later this week, which of the three of us we would be. But anyway, so I kind of know where they would probably go. I'm getting killed regardless, so that's fine.
Can I just admit something to you real quick before we
Yes.
go? When you texted the FMK game, I thought it was a player like, CES, like it was somebody's initials. So I'm
IKF, Isaiah Kiner Falefa could have been there. Yeah.
I'm scrambling my brain and I'm like, I don't have time to look it up because he's going to think I looked something up. But I'm just like, FMK, what? So sorry, I wasn't privy to this game until today.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the game now, but I didn't know that they just went by initials.
Yeah, so when you're old, these things happen. So, all right, okay, so let's start off. This is the dream. Mm-hmm. Dream, like just if all things are equal and you can get. It's almost like a draft and you have the first pick as opposed to free agency where it, like I love to say, is it ain't free and the players have agency. So, what would be the dream free agent signing for you for the Cincinnati Reds this offseason?
A lot of people would automatically think that I want a big time free agent pitcher that could lead the staff, but that's not even close. My dream pick is to have Pete Alonso wearing a Cincinnati Reds uniform, playing first base and hitting the bombzillas galore out of that ballpark. I mean, could you imagine? See, Trent, like,
no, man, yeah.
What is that place called? Not Shea, but it's City. Is that what it's called these days?
It's City Field.
Yeah, he crushes balls there, and I mean, obviously, Great American Ballpark plays a little bit smaller. Oh, he'd be a 50 homer guy year after year after year. That would be my dream. to have him. And he's obviously a great dude. We see his personality and his charisma. Having him in the clubhouse, oh, him and Tito would be like messing with each other all the time, I bet.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one, and mine is pretty much the same thing. Kyle Schwarber, same thing, right? You know, like
Yeah.
imagine Schwarber in this ballpark. Great clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
Is his reputation is as one of the best guys in for a
Yeah.
clubhouse. Huge bat, like you can put him anywhere. You know, if Ellie De La Cruz is at bat and you're worried about Kyle Schwarber behind him, watch out. And if
Yeah.
Ellie De La Cruz is on the bases and Kyle Schwarber's at the plate, you got to pick one of them to concentrate on because there's a lot. And and Pete Alonso would be the same way, right? I mean, the differences is our age, probably length of contracts that they're looking for, and maybe that's why I go Schwarber. I don't think that John Middleton's going to let Kyle Schwarber leave Philadelphia. I think he will. Any offer that any other team makes, I think John Middleton will top it, and it's going to be very, very, very difficult for Kyle Schwarber to do anything but return to Philadelphia, where he is beloved inside the clubhouse, outside. Is just a perfect pick. However, you know, he has said that, you know, he's thought about playing in Cincinnati, and of course he would love to at some point. I think some of those comments were a little overstated. And I've talked to Kyle since then, and he was just saying, like, you know, yeah, sure, I'd love to play there. You know, it wasn't like I want to go play for the Reds next year. It was just like, yeah, if it lined up, that'd be awesome, and it'd be really fun. And I understand that. But I do think like they could make a compelling case to Kyle Schwarber. And of course, it all depends on what the other offers are and if they can afford it. And they would probably have to trade somebody else and move some money around because Kyle Schwarber's going to get a lot of money. But his age is going to restrict those offers. He's not going to get he's not going to get many 5-year deal offers. I can see maybe a 3-year deal max, just because he's 35 and, you know, coming off a career year.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, you mentioned it, John Middleton's not going to allow somebody just to sweep Kyle Schwarber away. I would imagine the Philly faithful would not be happy about that, and Middleton would have to hear that. But I also believe that Bryce Harper is going to do everything he can to help them and, you know, keep this dude around, because you can't lose a guy like that.
Well, and big part of that team's success from people I've talked to is the leaderships of Schwarber and Harper, and that those two guys command respect, but they also lead well. It's not just about the respect that they feel they earned, but they give their respect, which we all know is huge. So there it is. And I also said he was 35. He'll be 33 when the season starts next year, but still, I think it still applies to someone on that side of 30 with a power calling card. You know, that age is not great. You could still do things, and I still think he could be very worth whatever he's paid for the next 3 years or so. But after that is when you get your diminishing returns and your higher prices.
Well, after that, if Middleton signs him to a 3-year deal, he'll be 36 or turning 36. The Reds could take him on a shorter deal after that, right?
Yeah.
Finish his career at home.
And here's one thing that is very difficult to really, I don't know, quantify. But at this point, like, even plan for, because I don't think that anybody, and I think we might see a really kind of slow free agent market, because with a lockout looming in a year, I don't know how many people are going to be wanting to sign long-term contracts in case there's a massive change in the whole financial structure of baseball and baseball teams. So
Ooh,
yeah,
I don't miss those days.
no, I bet. So yeah, I mean, like I think anybody could go. Yeah. Oh man, just picture Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso in that ballpark, and you're already like,
Yeah.
yeah, and they fit. Okay, so if
But
that's
Kyle
not gonna,
Schwarber would sign more season tickets if Schwarber was there too, I bet. Well, either one, really.
yeah, I mean, either one's gonna be a draw.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's also like that huge. It's weird because we've only seen this team kind of go on like a real spending spree in free agency once. And that was 2020 before the 2020 season. And we don't know how the fans would react because that was such a different year, to put it
Different, yeah.
lightly. So yes, that's something that I think will be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the D out of the way, the R for the DRS. If are you a racing fan at all? Because I was like really
Yeah.
excited about like which racing do you watch?
NASCAR.
Oh, okay, I watch F1, so they have
See,
DRS.
what does that
Um,
stand for?
I don't remember, but it's like when they can open up the foil and they go faster, and you can only like do it if you're within a second of the guy in front of you, and then there's certain areas where you can do it. So it's kind of like just it's basically the turbo of like a Mario Kart, but for F1.
The real life turbo. Nice.
Yeah, like the real life mushroom that gives you a little boost. So there's that. Yeah. I don't even remember. There's something about the drag or something. I don't know. It's some fancy sciencey stuff. But yeah.
Drag. Yeah.
So or maybe yeah.
The D's
But
got to be
it's the wing.
drag. Yeah.
But the other part of the thing is that after next year they're not going to have it because they're going to a whole new car and hold through changes. So anyway,
So they're gonna have turbo. They're gonna have the mushroom the whole race now.
no, just no mushrooms,
Yeah.
which is how I like it.
Well, yeah, like NASCAR put on restrictor plates years ago so that
Right,
they couldn't go too fast.
right, and
Yeah.
so yeah. Anywho, so realistically, give me a name.
Yeah.
Can you see that fits a need for this team?
Well, so I've said that the bullpen is a need for this team in the past. Recently, as last week, I think we've talked about that both on and off air. And it's not necessarily just a closer, but I think somebody at the back end that has the ability to close. Kind of like when Pagan came in, I don't think they signed him as a closer when he came over. He just turned into that guy in a very good
because
way.
they had Diaz and they thought he was the guy.
Right. So I think this year, Devin Williams could be a very realistic pick. I know he didn't do very well in New York. He did finish a lot better than what he was doing throughout the season, but I know he doesn't want to be in New York. I bet he wants to go back to a smaller market team. And what's a better place to play in the Midwest than right there in Cincinnati?
And I mean it's a division he's familiar with.
Yep.
That could also be.
And he's not going to demand a ton of money either.
I don't know. It's tough. I think that's a really interesting pick. I think it would be really a really good one, and I think it would work. I do worry about older pitchers, especially relievers, once they kind of. I don't know if you know about this, but it seems like a lot of times once relievers start going down that hill, it's tough to get back up at it.
Oh yeah, I felt it. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
So there's that. That's just something. I don't know. I think that's a really interesting pick and one that could go through. Guy I was looking at, I think we kind of thought the same way on this one too, but with a different guy, and that would be Caleb Ferguson, the left-hander who was with the Pirates a little bit last year. He's been with the Dodgers, Yankees, Astros, Pirates, and Mariners. Finished last year with the Mariners. I think that's just you need a lefty. If they
Yeah.
just and the lefties today are not the loogies. They have to be able to get out right-handers too because of the 3 batter rule. And I
Yeah.
find that is, that's going to be an issue. Finding those guys are hard because really, if you can get lefties and righties out, well, you're going to be a starter, right?
Typically, yeah. Yeah.
And so that is kind of where I was thinking. I don't know, just a guy, yeah, a pretty good pitcher. He's done well. He is from like the Columbus area. Was a high school draft pick by the Dodgers out of West Jefferson High School, which is over there by Columbus. Um, you know, he's been just a
Yeah.
solid 7 years, 3.66 ERA, strikeout. You know,
And he's still
70
under 30. So
He's 29. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where I was looking. I mean, he gave up. What was his whip? His whip. He walks a little bit more than I would like. But actually for the season, it was a really good change. Yeah. I mean, he was down to 1.163, which after a couple bouncy years is probably
Mhm.
where he has been. So again, I was thinking just a lefty, Caleb Ferguson, a guy who has experience, has pitched in the postseason, shoot, each of the last 3 years, with the Dodgers in 23, with the Astros in 24, and with the Mariners in 25. Also pitched for the Dodgers in the playoffs in 18 as a 21-year-old. So that's just a guy I like, with a lefty who does that kind of thing. I think that's a good pick.
Totally random, but Drew Pomerantz is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's older, obviously, but I mean, I feel like the guy just keeps like catching on to somebody and pitching pretty decent for them.
Yep.
In the pennant races or
Yeah.
playoff races, whatever it's called these days.
No, I think you're right. I think there's a really interesting part to be seen there. So yeah, we shall see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Now we're going to go to our sleeper signing. What you got there?
So here, I mentioned this last week on our parent show, on who I think would be a good fit in Cincinnati. And I say sleeper because he is an older guy, but he's also got a great history at Great American Ballpark. It's Paul Goldschmidt. I really feel like this is a guy that just knows how to hit. He hit 270, 280 last year, possibly. He only hit like 10 bombs, but that is a guy that you can count on giving you a good at bat every single time. In his career at Great American, he's a 280 plus hitter with like 20 bombs in the 60 plus games that he's played. He has success there. He knows this division, obviously. I think it's a guy that you could take a chance on, and it's almost like a no lose situation. The leadership in the clubhouse, a guy that's won in the past. I mean, and he's going to be a little bit cheaper than you could think about getting him for.
Yeah. Well, I really do. I think that's a interesting pick. Let me see what I probably should have done this earlier, but Goldschmidt. So yeah, so I think that's interesting. Mine, I kept going to some of those veteran guys, and they're, like maybe a guy like Luke Weaver. He was here. I know he liked it here. I know the Reds kind of, he got along with Derek Johnson. He liked that. He could almost fill that Nick Martinez role, maybe. That is, maybe he's a starter, but we can have him in the bullpen. And he pitched really well in 2024, especially in the postseason. A little less so last year. Again, I think we both have guys who didn't have great seasons with the Yankees this year on our list. So I think that's
but
that's one.
He's proved that he could close in New York. Like he did it. You mentioned the playoffs. He did it towards the end of that season, 2024, and he did it very well. And if you can close there, you can close anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, you're right.
I like that pick. It's just a matter of like, what's he going to ask for? What's the market going to,
right?
You know?
And so that's where I'm also like, guys, like this all depends on what it's going to be. You have some of the other names we're throwing around, Raisel Iglesias, right? If you want to keep on the reliever train, in the outfield train, I'm thinking maybe guys like Rob Refsnyder, Mike Yastrzemski. Here's, I've heard some, Justin Turner said he's always wanted to play for Tito Francona. He's 41, really only plays first base, but I think there's a lot of value there that could be done as well. And maybe even like a Kike Hernandez, just one of those vibes guys.
Yeah. And then when it comes time for the trade deadline, if you're not in it, you trade him back to the Dodgers and steal some of their prospects.
Yeah, because they'll take them.
I mean, that's the way to go with Kike. But I love that. That'd be great to have him running around that clubhouse. I'm sure the fans would just adore that dude.
Yeah. I know they do in LA. Again, I don't. And he's done this thing before where he'll go somewhere and then just end up in LA. So now we get to a little bit of tease for the next one. If you want to have questions for JJ Cooper of Baseball America, who we're going to talk to later this week, put them in the comments or go to Twitter at Riverfront Pod. At Riverfront Pod on Twitter, and we'll see those, and we can ask JJ about guys. I sent you a thing the other day because we had talked about Alfredo Duno. I'm almost like I had this like fascination with Ellie De La Cruz from the first time I heard about him, and like I think I've replaced that with Alfredo Duno. I stood next to him at one of those games 2 years ago, and I was like, holy moly, this kid's massive. And he was 18, like just turned 18 when I saw him there. And you're like, whoa. And so as a 19-year-old, all he did was, let's see. So again, he's still 19. He won't be 20 until, or wait, is it the other way around? No, yeah.
I think January he'll be 20, I think, right?
Yeah, he turns 20. So he has a career slash line in the minors of a 287 batting average, a 425 on base, and a 595 slugging percentage. And so, like last year, he was 18 in the Florida State League. Was one of the younger players. Really, he only had 15 plate against appearances of 495. So 3% of his were against younger pitchers. That means the rest were against pitchers older than him.
Yeah.
And I think he's only had like 28 maybe or something like that all in over his career. So what did he do last year in the Florida State League? All he did was lead the league in home runs, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS, doubles, walks, extra base hits, total bases, isolated power, walk to strikeout ratio, second in batting average, and hits and walk percentage, fourth in plate appearances, and had the seventh lowest strikeout percentage, 18.4% of guys who qualified. Like
you might have been better off saying what he didn't lead in because there would have been less. It seemed like he pretty much led everything.
Like he didn't lead an ERA. That's about it seems.
Oh my gosh.
And so then he was the fourth youngest player in the Arizona Fall League and had, in 59 plate appearances, hit 213, 250, 356, 298. To me, again, it's that on base percentage that gets me. And even when he was struggling for the ball. He wasn't getting
Yeah.
extra base hits, so he wasn't hitting it for. But to put up a 346 on base percentage over there, that's pretty good. And this is a guy who can steal a base. He had several stolen bases. He's had triples. He can run for his size.
Well, the short answer to that is very good on base percentage. I remember when I was 19, and that's all we tried to do is have a good on base percentage with off the field stuff. How many? You get where I'm going? Like that's what I was doing at 19. Like this guy at 19 is a child still, like dominating men.
Yeah, and so
it's unbelievable.
And so the Arizona Fall League just wrapped up, and those were his regular season numbers, and no home runs. Did not hit a home run in the regular season of the Arizona Fall League. But first playoff game, he hit one. He hit his first home run, and it was 112.5 miles an hour off the bat, 445 feet. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
and that was in like their divisional playoff thing. And then they had a semifinals game. And in the semifinal game, in the first inning, he comes up with two guys on, hits one 102, goes to center. It's pretty good. His next time
102.
Yeah, that was his wall scraper, because he then hit another one that went 256 feet, I think, or 253, 107.6 off the bat, just to, like, it bounced off the batter's eye, dead center field. And then he came up in his third, well, I don't know if it was his third plate appearance or at bat or whatever, but in the third one, he crushes one, 156 pull. It was 109, one off the bat. I mean, and you watch the replay of it. I sent it to you. And like, I mean, everybody knew it. Like nobody, it wasn't, he took a second to admire it. And I think everybody was like, yeah, I'd admire that too if I hit that.
Admire it as long as you want. That was
insane. That was not Enron Fielder to left. This was this was a real home run.
It was, but they counted the same, right?
No, yours counted more because it was in the big leagues.
Oh, okay. Well, I see. Okay, you're right. But they only counted as one.
Yeah. But yours is in the big leagues, so it's better.
Well, thank you for that.
Hell, I have no home runs. I have no hits in the big leagues, and like quite honestly, like I know I wouldn't like if my bat touched a ball, it would be luck.
Well, swing hard in case you hit it. That's what we did.
Yeah, it's going to be like Homer Simpson with Wonder Boy and just closing your eyes and woo. Anyway. Yeah. So, all right. So who are you thinking about asking JJ about?
So I know we talked about this before we came on, and I just saw the list. It's actually 6. I thought it was 7, but 6. Number 6 prospect, Chase Petty. Heard so many good things about this kid, and like just waiting for him to get his opportunity to stick at the big league level. And I just want to ask JJ like what his thoughts are and how soon he's going to get this chance. Because
we've seen him up here a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like everybody's like, why can't he come back? Where's Chase Petty? When is he going to get a chance to really stick? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. And you know that he is still number 6 on this list, which is saying something. And you know, and it's probably because I would guess if you have him as your 6th best, you think he can be a starter. And that's probably what it is. And he's had kind of some weird ups and downs. His 2025 wasn't great, and his 24 wasn't either. But so we'll see. And I'll give you one little story though. Like I wanted to switch his number this year because I always give Rick Stowe like grief about the numbers that he gives out and everything. And there's no time honored tradition in Cincinnati Reds baseball other than like giving the Stows crap. I mean, like every generation has done this from,
Yeah.
Frank Robinson on down.
Right.
There's been a Stowe to pick on. And for me, it's joking with Rick about like, I can't believe you gave this guy, how did you give, somebody's number away? Danny Graves' number. I mean, geez, no respect for Danny. And he's like, all these coaches and these retired numbers, and he gets really upset, and it's just so much fun. What'd you like if I took a letter off your keyboard, huh?
Wait, so did you really say something to him?
Oh yeah. Oh, I say it all the time. Like every guy that gets like comes in, it's like, man, I can't believe you did Jamer Candelaria like that. Like you just give away his number, and new guy comes in.
Oh my God.
And so like Sheldon does it too. Like Mark Sheldon and I, we both do it, and we both find it very funny. So there's that. But where was I going with this? Because I was like, oh man, I can't believe you give Aristides Aquino's number to Ellie De La Cruz, but we all kind of got it.
Well, now Tyler Callahan has 32. So
yeah, man, tough kid, tough kid. What I was going to say is like, I was like, and this was earlier in the season. I was like, you really need to go, especially if you guys are going to be in the Speedway game. If Chase Petty's up, he's got to have like 43.
43.
And I was like, Diaz's old number. I mean, but like when I said it the first time, it was before Diaz's old number. It was still Diaz's. And I was like, man, you guys need to change it. If you guys get rid of Diaz, you can change it in time. So I am hoping that when we show up next year to Goodyear, Chase will be number 43. He'll be right next to Ellie De La Cruz, basically.
He has to. Like, there's no other number that he should even be allowed to think of. That should be the only one.
Yeah. So
seriously,
I just thought it would be really funny if it was in the Speedway game, and it would have been like, dude, like Fanatics would have loved that because they could have sold a ton of those like Reds jerseys that are Petty with Petty's number on it.
Yes. Man. Oh my
Perfect.
God. And the whole Petty family, Richard, Kyle, all of them would have worn a Reds Petty jersey for sure.
Yeah, I think I've read that. Have I read that Dale Earnhardt or is it Dale Earnhardt Jr. who's a Reds fan? Maybe, I don't know. So anyway,
is he okay?
I think I've read that. So I don't know. Well, anyway, I thought we were going to get a little tight and be a little tighter today, but I wandered as I am wont to do. So again, thanks for joining us. I'm Trent Rosecrans of The Athletic. He is Danny Graves of 2 big league home runs fame, Reds Hall of Famer, all the rest. If you like this, please let us know. If you have any questions, please let us know. We'll read the comments, etc. on YouTube. It's also, everywhere else you get podcasts. So please subscribe to Riverfront Territory on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Share it with your friends if you want. Reddit,
no, you should.
Twitter.
Not if they want. They should.
Should, yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're doing it to people you like. So that's good. And it's not like, oh man, I hate them. I got to listen to this. So share, review, be nice. I'm sensitive. Give us 5 stars and, say something nice. We'll say something nice to you. Riverfront Territory is a part of the Foul Territory Network. So we will see you again later this week, and we will have JJ Cooper. Thank you for listening, watching, doing whatever, and thank you, Danny, for joining.
Thank you.